Mrs. Batty's bedroom?
Can't be. Must be the bed. It's already gone.
How do you know?
Look.
What's that?
The knob off Mrs. Batty's wardrobe. The men hit our front door on the way down. It dropped off.
George, you'll have to give it back to
Chance,
her.
I want to keep it.
What for?
As a souvenir, because Mrs. Batty's leaving forever. Mrs. Batty's leaving! Mrs. Batty's leaving! No, she won't. She's still down by the removal van, making sure nobody steals anything.
You want to steal any of her old rubbish. It's all second-hand, and it stinks.
Don't be unkind, Lily. It's not her fault she's poor.
Get her sticking up for Mrs. Betty. Don't pretend you're sorry she's leaving, because you're not.
Hi, everyone. Oh, it's dangerous out there. I nearly got squashed to bits by Mrs. Batty's bed.
Pity you didn't.
Oh, charming.
Well, you're always saying you want to lose weight.
Don't be funny. Where's George? Hey, hope you kept out of the way today.
What's
that?
Nothing.
Hey, just think. 10 minutes and no more Mrs. Batty. Oh, I can't believe it.
So can I.
No more borrowing.
No, we're banging on the scene when we're noisy.
No, we're pretending Auntie Ollie's here.
Peace at last. Oh. You all said goodbye to us.
Ugh, it's horrible.
Revolting.
She kissed them both goodbye. Willie had to wash for the first time this week.
Thought he looked a bit pale.
Come in.
I said goodbye on the way up. Oh, here she goes. Do you know, I think she's gonna miss us.
Well, we walked this far. I wonder who the new neighbour is.
Now she did tell me, Mrs. Grubb.
Mrs. Grubb, what a funny name.
Yeah, Mrs. Grubb from London. She's married, but her husband's away on business, so she'll be moving in her own.
She likes animals.
And football.
Oh, don't worry. Nobody could be worse than Mrs. Batty. Hey, come help me unpack. Do what you like later. Come on.
Oh, parting is such sweet sorrow. Who said that?
You did.
Hey? George, what are you doing?
Pardon?
What are you doing?
Turning the sound up.
What for?
I like it loud.
Turn it down. George!
It doesn't matter. Mrs. Batty's gone. Anyway, just get a record player on loud.
And it's got to go with the ball. Oh, look at the speed of this player. He's going all...
Hey, Willie! I know we don't have to worry about noise, but don't over to us, all right?
All right. He's got a goal again. He's got around the defence. Yes, he's got a great chance here. Look at this. He scored. What a goal by Gallagher.
Hello, can I help you? You'll stop kicking that running thing around indoors for a start, Sonny Jim. Where's your auntie? Which one? Don't try and be funny with me, lad, or I'll clip you around the ear hole. You know who I mean. Just a minute, who are you? Mrs. Grubb, and don't you forget it. Who are you?
Jess!
This is Mrs. Grubb from upstairs.
Oh, you don't
Right first time, lovey. Your new neighbour. Well, I've got to be some changes round here. Who's making that racket for a start?
Tell George to turn off the television. Quick, quick, go on.
Oh. Right, now, let's get a few things sorted out from the start. I am not an easy woman to live with, and I've heard all about you from that Mrs. Batty. I am a hard woman, and I've an hard life. And I am harder on some things than others, and would you like to know what they are?
Yes, please.
Little boys like you! Noisy little boys like you! And
No.
dirty noisy little boys like you! And if ever I hear that again, or see that, or have any trouble from anybody else, there'll be a few ears clipped round here.
Now, Mrs. Grubb, there's no need for that. We were sorry about the noise, and we didn't know you moved in.
Well, you know now, don't you? And don't forget it.
We won't.
Mrs. Grubb,
Well,
can I have a ball back, please? What an old bag.
And to think we wanted Mrs. Batty to go. What are we going to do with her living upstairs?
But don't worry. We won't take this lying down. We'll fight back. Somehow. Penny!
Yeah, in here.
Oh, blast! Why does nobody leave anything by in this house? Oh, look at this. Willie's football boots. Doesn't that boy put anything away? I'm fed up cleaning out this place. Oh, just look at this football and everything. I'm sick to...
Morning. Your eggs are nearly ready and the tea's made.
Bring the kitchen's beautiful.
Oh, I thought you deserved a rest. I'll tidy the hall when I finished your breakfast.
Belinda, You are an angel.
Oh, mind your egg.
Ooh. Hey! It's just like Mum makes it. All hard on the outside and all soft in the middle.
I know. I've been practising on George for weeks.
I really do appreciate this, Bin. But a rotten week with Mrs. Grubb. What's the score this morning?
Oh, 2 bangs on the ceiling when George turned the radio up loud, and a threat to come and sort him out when Willie flushed the toilet first thing this morning and it got stuck. Honestly, it's worse than being in prison. I have to stop breathing next.
Where is Willie?
In bed.
At 10:30?
He's conserving his energy for the match this afternoon.
Oh, well. At least it'll keep him out of Mrs. Grubb's way. And where's George?
Downstairs by the front door.
What's he doing there?
Waiting to ambush the postman.
Oh, not again.
Oh, Willie can't understand why he hasn't had any birthday cards yet. He says the postman's stealing all his postal orders.
Well, his birthday's not till next week.
Oh, you know how excited he gets. And he's already started complaining about Mum being away. And who's going to bake his chocolate birthday cake?
Georgie! Shh! I've got one! Oh, how lovely! Who's it from?
Can't read the writing, it's all squealing. Oh, it's from Great Uncle Arthur. I thought he died last year.
Benny!
Glad you did it for something 50p.
Ooh! Well, go and put it in a nice, safe place.
And this one's for you.
Oh. Hey, George, where are you going?
Back downstairs to the living room!
Don't recognise the writing. Oh, no.
What is it, Jess? Oh, it's not from Mum, is it?
No. No, it's about us. Someone's found out we're living on our own.
But how?
I don't know. Listen, come and sit down. I'll read it to you. I don't know who you think you're kidding with all your talk about an auntie, but it's clear as bloomin' mud you ain't got no auntie living with you. And that means you're breaking the law and making a nuisance of yourselves, playing football and thumping about annoying neighbours what's trying to mind their own business. Under the circs, you got it coming to you, so don't be surprised if your mother, spelled M-U-V-V-E-R, finds out, signed someone with your best interests at heart.
Oh, I knew we couldn't keep pretending Auntie Olive was here. It was bound to come out in the end.
What we're going to do?
Ignore it! Well, that's what people do in novels when they're blackmailed. And then the blackmailer panics, and then the police catch them, and then they go to prison.
Bean, this is not a novel, it's real life. And if Mum finds out, she's going to get all upset, and that's going to make her worse.
Oh, if only we knew who sent it.
I've got a pretty shrewd idea.
Who?
Look at the spelling.
Oh, you don't mean...
Who's been asking to see Auntie Olive all week?
Mrs. Grubb?
Mm-hmm. And who asked George what he meant, telling the milkman we were orphans and could we have 20p off the bill?
Mrs. Grubb?
Yeah, Mrs. Grubb. Exactly. That's just the sort of thing she would do, isn't it? Sending an anonymous letter.
Well, maybe she's just trying to scare us. Maybe she hasn't actually told anybody yet.
Oh, do you think so, Bin?
There's a lady at the door asking for Mrs. Grubb, so she's from the welfare.
Welfare?
Yes, don't shout. To send her upstairs.
You send her upstairs?
But that's where Mrs. Grubb lives.
But you don't understand, Georgie. The ladies come about us. They'll probably put us in a home.
They can't. It's my birthday next week.
George, go away, Willie. Bin, come with me. Come on.
Yes. Well, they all get caught in the end, don't they, Mrs. Smithers? I mean, they had it coming to them. Oh, well, I suppose I'll have to go down and give them a few of the details. I'll go down because it's my duty. But mind you, I don't want no one to know nothing about this, especially them kids downstairs. Right then, Mrs. Smithers. I'll just do 1 or 2 odd jobs, and I'll be down later on. Thank you very much for calling, Mrs. Smithers.
Oh, Jess, what are we going to do? She's going down there in a minute to give details about us.
We've got to stop her.
I warn you, George, I was not to be disturbed!
Willie, come and get dressed. We're going out.
What? Now? What about my
Listen.
football?
Mrs. Grubbs found out we're living on her own. She's gone to tell the welfare. Well, we've got to stop her.
How?
I don't know. I'll think of something now. Come on, get dressed. Quickly, boys. Hurry.
Oh, no.
Now, where did she go? Did you see?
There she is. Come on.
Quick. Oh, blast, we've lost her.
Well, which way is it to the welfare?
Well, I thought the welfare was the other side of town.
So did I. You know, you're right, Bin. Where's she going?
There she is. Come on.
The prison.
A real one. She must be visiting somebody.
Oh, I know, of course.
Who?
Who's the person she never ever talks about? The person who's always off on business. The person we have never ever met.
Mr. Grubb. Prison.
Murder.
Oh, George.
I bet he's murdered hundreds of people. Mrs. Grubb's helped.
Yeah, enough of them moved in here. They've little the bodies in their old house.
Oh, don't be silly. He's probably done something quite ordinary like stealing or fraud.
Well, maybe he hasn't done anything at all. Innocent people are often convicted of crimes they haven't committed, and then they lie in jail for years and years until they rot away, and then they die.
But Mrs. Grubb isn't in prison.
That only happens in your silly novels, Biddy.
My novels are not silly.
All right, let's not argue. Hey, Willie, George, you're supposed to be keeping an eye out for Mrs. Grubb when she comes back. Now, go on. Come on, Willie. Bin now decide what to do next. What shall we do next? That welfare lady wasn't for us at all.
No. But I'm convinced Mrs. Grubb sent that anonymous letter. And even if she hasn't been to the welfare, she could have rung them.
Hello?
Is that you, Jess?
Mum! Oh, Mum, how are you?
I'm worried sick, Jess. I've had a very strange letter. It says that you're living on your own without Auntie Olive, and that the boys are running wild all day, and you're all in need of care and protection. Is it true?
No! Not exactly.
Well, is it or isn't it?
Mum, I can explain, honestly.
Get Auntie Olive for me. I'll speak to her.
She wants to speak to Auntie Olive. What'll I do? Auntie Olive isn't exactly here at the moment.
So it's true.
No, we're managing perfectly well.
I think you'd better catch the next train to London and explain what is happening. And that's an order.
Yes, Mum.
I thought I could rely on you to tell me the truth, Jess. It seems I'll have to discharge myself from hospital and come home and look after you all myself.
Mum, honestly, there's no need.
Jess, catch that train without fail. We'll talk later.
Got to go to the hospital and explain.
Oh, that Mrs. Grubb.
We
It's all
haven't-
her fault.
We haven't even any proof it's her.
No. But if we can get proof, we can challenge her and make her tell Mum the truth.
How do we get proof?
We see if her writing is the same as the writing on the letter.
Well, how do we get her to write something?
Georgie's birthday card.
There she is.
Okay, then we've got to keep
She's gone
George away.
upstairs.
Willie, take George into the room and stay there.
Why?
Don't argue. Now leave this to me.
Go on.
Go on. Oh, Mrs. Grubb, how nice to see you. Come in and have a cup of tea.
Oh,
No, not now. I'm very busy.
Oh, it'll only take a minute. You see, it's George's birthday next week, and we knew you'd love to send him a card. Mrs. Batty always did.
Yes, he'd be ever so upset if you didn't.
Is it here?
Well, I don't know. Not very happy about this.
It's all right. You don't have to contribute to the present.
If you just sign here. Oh, thanks ever so much. George will be really thrilled.
Well, I'll be going now, then.
Your husband is away on business.
That's right. Don't see him too often these days. Not that I miss him much, of course.
There was one other thing.
What's that, then?
These letters you've been sending.
Letters? What letters?
The letter you sent to us and the letter you sent to our mother.
Oh, I don't know what you mean. Letters? I ain't written no letters? No.
Then how do you explain this?
I ain't never seen that before in my life.
But it's your writing, Mrs. Scrub.
How do you know? You ain't got no proof. You never even seen my writing.
Oh, yes, we have. George's birthday card. The writing is identical. Look.
All right, so I did. Well, somebody had to do something, didn't they? I mean, you're just a bunch of hooligans.
Mrs. Grubb, you have done a lot of harm. Now, our mother is ill in hospital, and your letter has made her sick with worry. Now, she's going to discharge herself and come back here because of what you said about us.
Well, it's the truth, and I'll say it again.
No, it isn't. Oh, we were managing perfectly well till you came along and spoilt everything. Why couldn't you mind your own business? Well, you've got nothing to be proud of anyway. We could easily be nasty about Mr. Grubb, but we wouldn't.
Mr. Grubb? What about Mr. Grubb?
Nothing.
What about my Mr. Grubb?
He's away on business.
You're lying, aren't you?
Now, just a minute. We might as well tell her, Bin. We know all about your Mr. Grubb. We followed you to the prison. Not on purpose. We thought you were going to report us to the welfare and we were trying to stop you.
I see. So, now you're going to tell everyone my old man's a villain and have me thrown out after 5 minutes, I suppose.
No, we wouldn't do that. Anyway, nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, yes, it is. It's a terrible secret. That's why I had to move away from the last place, because of the wagging tongues. You can't trust nobody. You know who your friends are. And they all ask questions and find out in the end, like what you have.
Oh, it's all right. We won't tell anyone. Honest, we won't.
You promise?
Promise. Oh. On one condition, though. That you come with me to the hospital now and convince Mum there's no need to worry about us.
Well, I will, but it'll take some convincing after what I wrote in that letter. Do you know he only did a small job? The judge gave him 6 months. He said it was for the good of his soul.
Oh, no, don't upset yourself, Mrs. Grubb.
My Horace didn't know them cars were stolen. Honest, he didn't.
I'll meet you downstairs in 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, I'll have to change. I'll be as quick as I can. Hello.
Would you believe it?
What happened?
Has she gone?
Been tell you all about it. I've got to go for 10 minutes. Catch a train to London.
Are you going to visit Mum?
Yes.
Can I come?
Afraid not. I'm taking someone else.
Oh.
Mrs. Grubb.
Come in. Jess.
Oh, Mum. How are you?
How are you is more to the point. Now, what's been going on? Where's Auntie Olive?
Well, Auntie Olive didn't arrive.
What happened?
Well, it's a long story, but we've been managing very well, and now we've found someone to look after us. A new neighbour. Mrs. Grubb. This is Mrs. Grubb, Mum.
Hello, Mrs. Gathercole. Pleased to meet you. You feeling better?
How do you do? Oh, you shouldn't have bothered to come all this way.
It's no bother. It's all in a good cause.
Mrs. Grubb's been keeping an eye on us ever since Mrs. Batty went away, haven't you, Mrs. Grubb?
Yes, they're lovely kids. Bless them.
But this letter, it says you've been upsetting all the neighbours.
I can't think who would have written that, can you, Jess?
No, not a clue.
It's lies, all lies. Especially that bit about Georgie keeping hedgehogs under the stairs.
So you think I ought to ignore it?
I'll tell you what I think. I think you should tear it up and forget all about it. There. I feel better already. Let bygones be bygones, I always say.
Thank you, Mrs. Grubb. I feel much happier.
Oh, you will stay and rest, and you won't worry?
Yes, I'll stay, and I won't worry. I'm going to be in here for another month at least. How do you think George will take it?
We'll manage.
It's his birthday next week. I always bake him his favourite chocolate cake.
Well, you just have to do without for 1 year. I'll break it to him gently.
My Horace loves his chocolate cake. That's what he misses most, him being away.
Another month without Mum.
Another month of just cooking.
Doctor's orders. Don't be cheeky, Willie.
Yes, you should be grateful it's not longer.
If it was any longer, we'd probably all die of food poisoning.
It's my birthday next week, just Mum's not here.
We're all here. I bet you get lots of lovely cards.
And presents.
I'll let you have a party.
I don't want a party.
Why not?
Because Mum's not here to make my chocolate cake.
We can buy one.
It's not the same.
We've all got to make sacrifices, George. It's not the end of the world.
I miss Mum, Jess, and I want her back.
Oh, she'll be back soon as she's better.
Hey, George, you know I said I'd make you that model? Let's go and do it now.
I don't want to make a model.
Let you watch the late night film on television.
I don't want to. Just why can't Mum come home?
Because... Oh, George, you go make your model.
Come on, George. Hey, remember where we put the glue?
No, what are we going to do with him then?
Come on, Jess.
Hello? Anybody home? Hello. I made this for Georgie because I thought he might be feeling a bit upset. And if you like it, I'll make you an even better one for your birthday.
For me?
Yes.
Has it got real cream in the middle?
Of course it's got real cream in the middle.
Real cream?
Real cream.
And real chocolate flakes on top?